Hello landlubbers, I'm Colonel Failure and this is Transport Fever Peninsula, where you're joining me watching our first oil tanker depart with some fuel on board. How much fuel is there on board, I hear you cry? Some, I tell you. The answer is 40. No, it's not terrifically well stocked there. The second fuel tanker is also on its way to the docks, but I'm going to stop it right there because I'm only running a couple at the moment, and having them this bunched up is not a good thing. No, we need it to be producing a little bit more robustly than that, and therefore spacing them out some is going to help that cause dramatically. Anyway, in the last episode, we built this oil line and made it a thing. See, there it is. Look, it's a thing. He's dropped anchor. You've dropped anchor. Stay put. Why are you moving? Or is it just... Yeah, you see, look, you're still moving. Honestly, ships. Anyone would think that they couldn't stop on a dime. Anyway, looking at the rest of the route that we've got set up, since you've been away, I have replaced the trucks with the brand newly minted Benz. Sorry, hold on, I haven't quite got the full mastery of the camera. There she goes. Rather ancient looking tram, followed by a Benz which is full of oil. We're now shipping the oil in both directions in terms of its fuel to come back to the other end in order to then be transported out to Raccoon City. No, Alpha Complex, it's a different place. Raccoon City, I think you might find, is somewhere else entirely. It's over here, look. There you go. Well done. Good. You made that seem very, very knowledgeable. Now, if we bring up the bank balance here, you'll see that we are down last year by 800 and, let's say, 850, just for the sake of simplicity. But we did buy over £1 million worth of new bits and pieces. So we're up. We're in profit to the tune of around 300 grand. But the shipping has yet to actually pay off in the slightest. And I've got a very, very high level of expectation that when that's actually running with a full load, that there is a large influx of cash awaiting. There has to be, otherwise this is a disaster. I'm pretty sure I've got 9 million left I can borrow. Hold on, let's just check. Yeah, I've got 9 million I can borrow, and we are making money on a month-to-month basis. So another big project is possible. Is it wise? Possibly not. But you're going to have to stick around because I'm going to do it anyway. Right, so it is March 1913, and as much as we're coming up to the end of the month, so this will take a bit of a dip in a moment, we've got 750 grand in the bank. That is not bad going at all. As you can see, we are very clearly making a bit of cash. Mental note, in about 5 minutes I need to unpause that ship. If you don't do that, bad things will occur and you will be entirely to blame. Anyway, now I've been considering what my next thrilling move is going to be. The Rapture up to, I should have looked up the name, Elmore, and then on to Toontown, is a rail line that is just waiting for some enterprising individual to either bulldoze the centre of Elmore, or to work a kind of fresh route around the outside of it, and maybe put a new station in here in order to make a triple station connection. Neither of those are going to be cheap, and it doesn't get us any new look at this. How can you possibly be expecting to make any money on this? How much to replace that? 225. Pay the money. Let's get up to new tech and get everything aligned on the same replacement moment, and maybe that'll lead to something. So yeah, I mean the option here is to knock out one of these stations entirely, and it will probably be this one that I take out, for the reason being that it means that the Toontown run gets a slightly longer route before dropping off. Now the question I have there is, does it calculate the point-to-point route on Elmore, the city centre, or does it calculate it on the distance to station? because if it's a further distance to station, then that's a good thing. But linking that up would mean that I could then run both the trains that I've got at the moment here. We'd need to double up the tracks somewhere, which we'd use some very scientific calculations to figure out. But we'd be able to run a 3-stationer, which is going to be positive anyway. It's more or less making money at the moment, but it's not doing it very well. So you know, it's maybe not worthy of consideration. Other opportunities that we've got kicking around right now is Arkham Hogsmeade hasn't got a rail route yet, and it really does need one, because Hogsmeade's quite a sizable town, and therefore there is a good opportunity to make some more bucks by linking that up. Other opportunities that exist, Asgard to Erie would be a good one. We could take out the station that we've got now, replace it with a through station, wend our way up to there, and that would also encourage a route to Townsville as well, which is a little closer and therefore not as much cash. So this is where my head is at, and as you can see, look, the money's going all right. The big problem is that I am hemorrhaging 300 grand a year on loan maintenance. And as you will know, if you have watched previous series, that really sticks in my craw. So the biggest temptation that I've got at the moment is to actually pay down the loan and then start to put things back together again once the war chest builds up. But I'll tell you something for nothing. That makes for a really, really dull video, or a sequence where we skip over 5 or 10 years while I put that together. Meanwhile, how's my shipping getting on? You are close. I tell you what, look, we'll do this so you don't have to see vehicles moving unrealistically. We'll wait till this clown gets just about over there, and then we'll unfreeze. What's our? We've got 43 fuel waiting. That's not bad. Down here we've got. If I can click the right thing, doing this from orbit is kind of challenging. You've got... No, that's a truck. You wanted the truck stop. Click the truck stop icon, you'll be grand. So, oil transfer is 11 waiting at the moment. Alright, okay, yeah, that's acceptable. We've still got tons of oil waiting to be picked up by truck. So that route is going to be making money hand over fist, which is absolutely grand. I think we're about there, you know. Maybe just a little bit further. As soon as I've got this unpaused, we'll build something, all right? So this is just a case of get all my ducks lined up, and then we'll go from there. Keep paying down while you have the opportunity to do so, and then we'll do it after the year rolls round, because we'll have some cash. Seems like a plan. It seems like a plan to me. Whether it seems like a plan to you or not is largely irrelevant. But you can see already the income this year is up. We're up $500,000 over last year, and that's not a bad place to be starting from. It is a position of strength. Right, there's the end of year rollover. We've got the Baden-Baden class, class 74 Baden, has become available. I don't think we'll be using that. I've got Pacifics and Atlantics and all kinds of marvellous machinery that are waiting to roll out. It's just a question of putting them in the right place. Now is the time for you to get back to work. Go. Great. Right, there we are. Now then, that's that on the move. How much have you got waiting for? Sorry, hold on. Wait, how much have you got waiting for you? You've got 83. That's a bit more like it. And then once we deliver up here, all of these trucks that I'm spending money on just willy-nilly right now, they'll all spring into life as well. But what we're going to do... Just before, I'm sorry to keep you waiting, but just before we get into action, we'll see how much we make off 14 fuel. I don't think it's going to be nothing. I think it might be a little bit more than maybe we're expecting. Equally, it could be a little bit less than we're expecting. It could be a little bit anything. We just won't know for another 10 seconds or so. And that's got me right on the edge of my peninsula. I can tell you. Right, okay, here we go. Slow. No. Go. We haven't got all day. And it is payday. Go on. Show me the green numbers in here. There, 121,000 we just made off 14 fuel. that is pretty close to actually paying off the running costs for the ship for the year, and that's the last time it will be running with so little fuel on board. I'll shut up and let's go and build something. Right, let's go build something. What are we going to build? I was half hoping that I would have generated a killer idea there while we were just knocking around. Now the Mos Eisley Sherma Caprica City route is going to be. I mean, it's a license to print a lot of money, but it's going to cost a hell of a lot of money to set up in the first place. I'm going to leave it with trams for the moment. I could probably run more trams on there, you know, but we'll leave it alone for now. What I'm looking for is an inexpensive rail connection, and I'm liking the look of this. Inexpensive is going to come from the level of the ground rather than the distance travelled. I might do something cheeky here, you know. I might try it. We could make this as cheap as possible. Now, I know it's a bit of a low-life manoeuvre on my part, but I think it might be interesting. Okay, right. We're going to use the hideous cheating bulldozer in order to flatten out. Not enough for a station, but we're going to aim to flatten out the rail route and see how that works. Now, I've got no intention of making a habit of this, despite the fact this will be the third time that I've done it. But I want to see how it works more than anything else. Now, the perfect place for a station here in Erie is going to be right where this road is now. How much is that going to set me back to Newkit? $1 million. Probably more than $1 million. Probably pushing $2.5 million to take that out. Let's not do that then. How about you clowns? Yeah, you see, this is what you get for being inexpensive. Right, we're going to come straight through there, and I'm going to pause it so the AI doesn't get some kind of notion of, oh, I'll just bung that back in. Now, unconventionally, I'm going to stick a through station here. I've committed to this, incidentally, just so you're aware. We'll double track from the get-go, which is bold. We won't bother with a catenary, not yet. Right, unable to align terrain. Well, as luck would have it, I've a gizmo that will allow me to very much align the terrain, and there's very little you can do about it. Right, let's go from here. Right, so this should be the leveling point, right? So we take everything to that kind of height. Now, it might balk this house. If it makes the house float, then the house is going to rapidly disappear. I don't like doing it because it's incredibly destructive, but here we go. Yeah, you see, you have no idea how flat something isn't until you make it flat, and then you kind of go, flipping heck. Oh, this is a lot more challenging than I anticipated. Look at the drop off here. Now, you contour line fans out there, you'll go, oh, if you turn contour lines on, it'll be fine. You're going to go, oh, shut up. I don't like the looks of it with the contour. It makes it look ugly. Now, as much as it's just a tool to help you, plot your route, it still makes it look ugly, and therefore I resist it with the core of my being. Yeah, you see, look, that's balked that bit of road. So I'm afraid. Right, let's get the station in. Yes, you can align the terrain. In fact, we'll align the terrain right about there, slot in a piece of road, and everybody will be happy. It's quite an expensive station, but it will pay for itself over the fullness of time. I'm utterly convinced of that. Right, Medium Street. If I can fit Medium Street through these houses, or if the house is cheap enough that I can just bulldoze it. It is. Well, it might not be, but I'm saying it is, and therefore, hush. Right, okay, so we've got the contour line switched on, and that's going to make everything so much easier. If we now go as the crow flies in the direction I want to head, obviously we're not going to be able to afford. Look at this downhill. Although, interestingly, that because it has turned from bridge into... Oh, my giddy aunt. Okay, all right. I think we might have to scrap the bulldozer idea that I had, because that is a severe change in elevation. Oh boy. Right. Okay. I don't think there's an easy way, because the cheap way to do this is to get down to ground level and then work from there. I say cheap. The cheaper way of doing this is to do that. Right. Let's some space here. So if we come out here at an angle, which is not going to be appealing, this is horrifically expensive. Oh, why do you have to do this to me? Who came up with this flipping map in the first place? No, we don't want electrification. We're not there yet. We're going to stick in the golden age of steam while we can, and while it is the golden age of steam. So 122k gets us around the corner there. We'll keep the game rolling, because then at least it will bring in some cash. Turn the ugly back on. There you go. No escaping the ugly just yet. Then we should be able to swoop over this way. And I think this might lead to a slightly more genteel downhill kind of approach that we've got. Now, are you going to whack your loan up to maximum there in order to make this happen? Or are you just going to wait from piece to piece? Well, I'll tell you, since I'm going to be doing a reasonable amount of remodel as she goes, then we'll go. I think we might try and wait until the cash comes in each time. Right, how's that? Well, 37 is not going to cut it. 37 was 266. This is 309, but it does buy us a little bit more flexibility for faster trains, because faster trains are coming, and we want to be able to benefit from that as much as possible. All right, okay. Well, you've done some. Congratulations, well done. What's next? Okay, well, the next one is another span here, but with a few ground-based interludes. Go with the stone bridge, please. Thank you. What are you taking me to there? 154. Okay, well, I mean, it's a couple of days wait, but we'll have it. And then hopefully, I mean, once the oil starts rocketing the money upwards on a regular basis, I think I'll possibly end up needing one more ship on that line. But once we've got that income sorted, then I should be able to slow the game back down, so we actually get some of the golden age of steam available to us to build more stuff. Let's take out the money. I'm not going to hang around. Let's go there. Right. Okay. Now we could wind our way this way some, and then swing back again that way. Although we must be getting... No, we're nowhere near yet. I was about to say we must be getting close to hitting the right level to finish this track. But we're not. We're a long way off that yet. So that's... I mean, that gives us another landing point. I mean, I quite like... I mean, stylistically, having this, you know, bridge to solid kind of line, I think is very nice to look at. I mean, the alternative is going to be a very rapid downhill kind of approach to track laying here. Now, once we get to there, we're pretty much at the right level. So after this one, I want to be setting the track on a kind of level, or I want to do an extended section to keep it as level as possible. So something like that. There you go. See, look, I can understand the graphitude that is occurring. 416 for this next one. Now, the other positive is that it doesn't actually look completely horrendously inaccurate. Tyrone has reached its lifetime. There's not a lot I'm going to do about that yet, Tyrone, I'm afraid. You're just going to have to suck it up for the moment. Right, let's figure out our destination here in Asgard. Well, I mean, you know, this is kind of lending itself to a station right there. You've got a second station here. So what we'd want is to add this tram stop here, and maybe the centre of town stop, and turn it into a new bus stop, possibly there, I would have thought. So we'd do a point-to-point between the two stations to hook them up. And then as we've got the money later on, we'll then transform that into a through station, and everything will be flipping amazing. Right, that is going to cost me 250 grand. I am not going to get a better price. However, where is my track coming in? Yeah, we can make that angle work. All right, okay. Right, line it up, and then let's bang it in. You had 250 grand quoted to you by your team of engineers. Now just go find it again. Anytime you like. Clock's only slightly ticking. So you know, any time you feel ready to make it happen, then you make that happen. Hold on, there was 294. Well, you've got 35 grand in the bank. Hold on, look, have some patience. Now we'll know when the big oil ship arrives, because that should shoot up by $1 million plus. If I can get this built now, it'd be a help. I don't think we're going to get there before the end of the year. All right, we'll take out a loan straight after end of year and get it done then. I just don't want to pay the extra on the loan now. If that makes me wrong, well, I'm not. So, shush. Right, okay, there we go. 409 in debt. Details. Right, how do we do? We've got a new coach available. Terrific. Last year, we brought in 5.2. This is new. The second ship hasn't arrived yet. We've only got the 121 from that first arrival. We spent 2 million quid on building new stuff. All in all, we did come out of that pretty well. Right, borrow the cash, plumb in the station, fix up the last bit of track, and then let's make something glorious. 330. I mean, the ideal would be to be snapped to the road immediately. Never mind the ideal. Make it work. Right, okay, there we go. Right, so, bit of track. Now, I don't need to double track this, because we're only going to run one train for the time being. I quite like that little tunnel, even if it is a bit more expensive, and therefore we're having it. Right, that's connected. Now I need to connect the road to the town. There you go, that's super. Just out of interest. Too much slope? Yep, too much. Buildings will be removed. Well, there's buildings will. No, not going to happen. Alright, well, no, but if you go with the skinny road, apparently it's not too much slope. Alright, how can I get this down to a fewer number of buildings that are requiring death? There you go. That's a fewer number of death buildings. Well, also then, it's not too much ruddy slope. It is, because this rather large edifice is in your way. Is there anything I can do about that? I'm going to go with no. That's a pity. Too much slope, and it's all the mangling of the landscape around the periphery that's causing that. However, if we do want this side, I'm leaving some indicators for the AI to figure out where it should be building its next project. Get rid of that, and then instead connect up like this. There you go. Put some houses in there, it'll look terrific. Run a little road over the top of the tunnel here. I'll do it for you. Alright, you can figure out how you make that work on there. Alright, I'll do it. There you go. Look at that, it's beautiful. It's amazing. People are going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm living in the finest place in the world. Those people are lost in the beats ion. Right, how about that? Yes, good, and we are there. Right, turn off the ugly. There you go. And now we just need to hook this up. It's actually a nice length route, this one. And given that I've paid some lip service to keeping the track speed up, we might be able to run something a bit more pacey and excitable up here. We'll soon see. What can you do me depot wise? Well, the one depot that you have, 47, done, sold, bargain. Now then, let's get our naming conventions in check. We've got Gen 1. Is this still a Gen 1? Oh, it most definitely is. Gen 2s will only really happen once we've got kind of multi-station routes on the go. The Zion Rapture is still woeful, and I think that is going to be down to the track speed that train is actually accomplishing. So you didn't actually want to close that. So this is again a Gen 1, but we're going from out here at Asgard, which needs a rename, to Erie, which doesn't. That bothers me. Why don't you need a rename? Because you should, by all accounts, require some renaming about now. Well, let's not dwell on it for the moment. We'll rename everything once we've got it running. So Gen 1, Erie, probably that. Doesn't seem right, but as good. Okay, right, now then. What next? Well, now you buy the train. Traditionally, this is how you tend to put your new route building narrative together. Thank you. All right, what have we got in the pot? Now we have got a bit up slope to cope with, but let's have a look and see what we've got to play with. Let's have a look. The early mogul will do 50. All right, it's only 900 grand. Its running costs aren't terrific, but 50 miles per hour is good. The question is, have we got something even better suited? What about a 10-wheeler? Now, you're asking for more money. That's slower, so forget it. What about the Atlantic? Pacey? Pricey? Yes. Do we think it'll pay off? Well, how's it compared to a 3.5? 3.5 is much more expensive. It is, isn't it? What's it bring to the party? Bit more power is what it's bringing to the party. Well, how about the Pacific? Now that's the Pacific is effectively a clone of the 3.5, or well, look, specs-wise, it's clone-esque. Although its tractive effort is way better. So we had about 6,800 of these in North America between 1902 and 1930. Just so you know, it's an expensive one. But what wagon would you go with attached to that? Let's filter that down to passengers. Now then, the upshot of using the 3.5 would be that I could use these clerestories without anybody having too much woe and gnashing of teeth because of me crossing the streams there. £35,000. So let's go at 35 tons. I appreciate it's not actually a ton, but if you're going to insist on Imperial, then you get what you're given. The clerestory is lighter and carries 16 passengers. It's not lighter. The word you're looking for is heavier. It's heavier. Do we go British? Do we go American? Eventually, I will unify everything to be from the same nation on the same island continent business. These 6 axles are flipping heavy, but they're actually heavier than the heavyweight. But the heavyweight will do 112 miles per hour. We don't need that much speed out of our rolling stock at the moment. What about these passenger cars? 50. Well, if you were going cheap, these would be the way to go. And you're going to need to go cheap in order to build up the line. Otherwise, you're just going to hemorrhage cash left, right, and centre, man. All right, okay. I think I'm drawing to a conclusion here. Right, okay. Pause the game. Oh, all right, pause it immediately after month end. See if I care. Has the ship arrived? I suspect it might have done. Nope, not yet. Oh, well, in which case, we'll buy this, put it in motion, and then go and watch the ship come in, because it can't be far off. Okay, right, borrow the works. That's more than we need, 7.5 million. And this will get us set up. I'm going to go with the 3.5. I know it's a generic train, or one of the standard trains, but it's going to do the job for us. 2.5 million. You've got to have a screw loose, man. And then we'll bang enough on there to get 60 passengers betwixt A and B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it has cost a pretty penny. And I've not mixed the coaches up. Normally I would mix the coaches up, but in this case I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it at that and see how we go. Now, the good news is that this is fast enough with enough power that it should be able to cope with the slope a little. All it really needs now is a name, and it is Big Rod. McGurk. Right, okay, Big Rod. I've got a job for you to do, and it's not going to be an easy one. So do your best. See what you can pull off. Right, now let's pay this back down. Otherwise, the end of the year will tick past, and we'll end up in a situation where I'm hurting from the interest. Right, okay, here we go. As ever, maiden voyage. All right, this looks moderately, as I'm sure you agree. Yeah, it does look moderately. Now, I need to re-engineer the two towns to kind of optimize passenger flow. I know, it sounds so technical, but it's also true. Right, now, if I use a tram stop, will it allow me... Yeah, you can use buses at a tram stop. Are you new here? I thought you were like, you know, the big dog in this game, eh? What's your drama? Now that's a bit of a stroll to the station, but it's also a really good place for some connectivity there. So we'll plumb that in, and then we'll upgrade with electricity and tram tracks to facilitate the transportation that I had in mind there. Just because you're using long words, it doesn't mean you're clever. Shut up. Yes, it does. There we go. Right, so I can do a little shuttle service between the two tram stops, which will work really nicely, actually. I mean, that's only going to require one tram on there, as long as it's of a reasonable length. Bish and so forth. Bosh. Although, that said, let's do a quick catchment check here. So that's that bit of town. And then you got this bit. And what are you bringing to the party that I'm not already bringing myself? Yeah, you're bringing that part to the party. Okay, I think a third stop might be in order. Yeah, why not? What are you afraid of? I'm not afraid of anything, but it just feels like it's maybe a bit bold. All right, so Upper Asgard stops there. I'm going to rename all of these because... everything is just causing me pain in terms of naming at the moment, but there we go. Right, we'll do that. It's got a bit of catchment overlap, but not so much that we shouldn't be able to pick up a few more passengers. And actually, if we had one out here, we could catch the outliers on that area as well. Because the goal is to benefit from passengers arriving at Asgard Station over here, transfer them to Upper Asgard so that they can continue their journey, possibly. Oh, hold on, has the boat arrived? No, it's not. Pause the game. We don't want to miss it. We want to go and see a massive payday, which is what it will be. All right, well, cease flapping your gums and bung one out here then. It feels like it might be a bit far out. Far out? Yes, well done. Although you've already got some... you've got your electrification in there. All right, no, that's good. And it will also lead to a little bit of growth out in this this general area as well. Right, delete all of it. Otherwise, you'll only get confused. Start from Upper Asg, which is there. Yes. You're probably going to want to electrify this street in order to simplify the transfer of personages and goods and what have you. It's not too much slope. No. You can put electricity on there. I'm very confident that you can. I mean, how much slope are we talking about? Okay, hold on. Yeah, we're talking about quite a lot of slope there. All right, take the scenic route now. All right, so here's number 2. There you go. See, look, it wants to use the slopey route. Well, you can't. I'm hoping that when I've got this done, it will opt to take the route that actually has tram track on it. I have no evidence to suggest that it will do. Of course, I've not actually finished electrifying everything, have I? So we're going to need to do this bit and this one and too much slope. This is a map that should be titled "Too Much Slope" because there's just slope everywhere you look, and too much of it at that. Well, if you go this way, you can. It's longer. It's actually not that much longer. right? And it works. So, you know, just live with it. Right, add this fella on there as well. And then we've got our lap 1. Back up on yourself. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. Keep them on the main road. Keep them on the main road. Don't obsess over, you know, trying to take the quickest route. This will be quick enough. Then back to Central. Then back to Station. Then back to whatever this one decided to call itself. Asgard Exchange. Okay. Right. Now, when I stick a tram on that, I'm faintly optimistic that it'll go, oh, right, you want to use trams. All right, well, let's call it commuter Asgard, which I'm pretty sure is the wrong way round, but we'll have a look anyway just to be on the safe side. Commuter Asgard. The one tram approach that I was going to take, I think we might now have to do 4. So there's a little bit of cost attached to that, but we'll have a look. Check the naming convention and then move on. Commuter, yes. We haven't got one yet, so you can call it whatever you like. Hey, that's a solid result. You should probably have a colon in there, though. All right, okay, hang on. Commuter Asgard. There you go. You happy now? Oh, happy's a very strong word. Let's not get carried away. Let's put let's put the bangingest of tram on that, and then 2, 3, 4, banging. Set line, commuter Asgard. Get to work. Make me some money, please. Help facilitate the success of this forthcoming train line. Right, so I'm still under the same pause situation, and our timing could not be better. We've got 91 of 150 on board this tanker here. So let's see what the payday that we are about to receive actually resembles. Now, if I felt like it, I could do some maths in my head and tell you off immediately how much we were going to make, but I'm not going to do that. It should be a couple 100,000, probably a bit 7 or 800,000. I would have said was about the right number. It shouldn't be more than that, not unless my interior calculator has woefully let me down. Let's have a look. Come on, we're looking in the little window here. Pop the number. Oh, do hurry up. 1 mile an hour, still going. Should be in knots, but, you know, let's not quibble. 780. Hey, mate, that's not that good. Not a bad estimate at all. Right, and that's going to keep these trucks rolling quite happily. We'll actually spend this money. We won't spend all of it. We'll spend a little of this money on upgrading these to be slightly more trucky. Benz. The Benz is the superior truck of the era, and therefore it can get to work. Now then, how many routes have I got going on here? You've got 3 different routes, which is a smart move. Industrial Elder. You've got the Bravo, and you've got the not Bravo Alpha. you know the details. Replace that now. Was that the one I just did? Can't remember. Yes, it was. Which means Alpha needs replacing as well. Otherwise, everyone's going to get held up. But if we want to maximise the money, we've got to maximise the effort. There you go. Good. Right. Work. Now, during my flyover, I also noticed, because I'm an observant individual, once in a while, or rather, I couldn't miss it. Oh, look at all of this lot. There's loads going on here. Right, what are we waiting for at the truck stop? We've got 97 trying to go industrial rack, which is back up the hill, isn't it? Is it? No, highlight the route and it will tell you. Oh yeah, okay, so we're going industrial rack has got 90 some odd waiting. We need that to be moving quite a lot faster. So we're currently rocking these little jobs. Let's have a take a look at those. Ben's on. Ben's in. Ricardo's just arrived, as is the Mac. What I recall about the Mac is that it's actually not as good as the Benz. I know, I'm sorry, but the Germans have got it done. So that's just life. The oil transfer's got 77 waiting, and it's actually pretty critical we get that stuff moving. 97 now heading out the right way, but we're leaving money on the table here and potentially risking a downturn in productivity from the oil well unless we get that moving. So get that moving. Also to upgrade this cash down. Proper delivery truck. Go on. Yeah, that's it. On now. Go. Yes. Have at it. Good. Right. Oh, also, I had money in the bank in the year as well. How did we do last year? 4.91 million down, which on the face of it sounds pretty bad. We blew 300 grand on loan interest. Right? We then also blew 5.3, let's say. So that takes us to 5.6 new vehicle costs, and a further. Does it? Let's say it does. Construction includes all of this. And so, where would I say 5.6? So that's 6.7.5. So 6.75 million, which is at least 1.75 million that we actually brought. But it's the delta between income and expenditure, which I probably could have worked out just by taking that and deducting it. But I did it the long way because I can. So it genuinely is quite positive. The real challenge is now going to be holding my nerve to actually, keep ploughing forward while not going bust. Right, let's put another truck on oil transfer. Okay, we can do that. Oil transfer. Yep. Okay, so which route was that again? It's oil transfer, as it's very obvious to say. So that's the naval one? Is it? Hold on. Is it the naval? It's the naval one. Put it on the naval one, so that the navy is constantly full with fuel. We could probably also, given the amount of stuff waiting to go up the mountain and the stuff waiting to come down it, we could put another 2 or 3 trucks on that route. The only risk you've got there is that your running costs for that route are going to start to get severe, and at the moment we've got a decent equilibrium when it comes to having the right amount of stock waiting to move out. Because if I get the balance wrong, then at one stop or another we'll end up with fuel waiting to be picked up, which will kill the production that we've got going on. I know it's high drama, friends. We've got 100 waiting. Alright, I'll stick 2 more on there. Now, I know this is going to maximise profits, but I don't want to build too much dependency on having to build up additional bits and pieces. So, industrial rack, please. No, that's not it. Or is it? Flipping is, All right, okay, all right. In which case, industrial rack yourself. Before you rack yourself. Check yourself before. Never mind. There was one more in there. There you go. You set line. Industrial rack. Go. Okay. All right. That's rolling. Now let's go and have a look at our new train. It's going to be a while before it starts making money. I know we say this every time, but in saying it every time is a good thing. We'll ride on board, and now we've got a passenger with us. Here we go. So this is our new route. This is Big Rod and now on the stick. We're doing a bit of an off-road. Right. That's not horrendous. We're capable of 62, but this is the down. Surely this train can handle 5 inches. Surely. I'm certain this there we go. See, look, lots of dinky little bridges. They're not even bridges, they're just spans before hitting the next bridge. That is not an upgraded bridge. So, did I check the speed on the coaches? I'm betting they didn't. I bet these coaches told them. Okay. That's potentially Harrison. Well, it's not potentially anything. It's definitely Harrison. The only issue is how much of it one passenger will make how much? Okay, so a full load is going to be 360,000 and change. One passenger, 6,000. 60 passengers, 360,000. And that's per run. That's not bad. And now we're doing the quick one. I bet the coaches are speed limited. Right, that's more than enough for today. I've been Colonel Failure. Thank you very much for tuning in. When we return, we shall apply the same level of commuter polish to Erie, despite the fact it's actually done reasonably well for passengers today. We'll possibly also add another ship, and we'll keep an eye on the trucking services that connect with my shipping line. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on that. I'll be back very soon with more of the same. Thanks for watching. Cheerio. Well, as you know, I do like to quote Big Trouble in Little China on occasion, and today is no exception. It's working, it's working, is the phrase that has been recurringly appearing in my mind as a result of this new oil route, which it's coming off quite nicely. As mentioned, the balancing act is going to be making sure that I've got to keep doing this with my hands, I think. The balancing act is going to be making sure that we don't end up stacking a whole lot of fuel or oil in one place for too long. Otherwise, the production level will drop off, and then that truck line that has got so many trucks on it, I don't even know how many at this point. I think it's 20 plus by now. That's going to grind to a halt, and we're going to make nothing from it. So I've got to keep a close eye on making sure that balance is hit pretty well. So I'll keep stopping back on that in future episodes. But one or two more lines along these lines, too much use of the word lines there, and we could have the engine of profit that will allow us to then build train lines more effectively. And as you know, effective train lines, they are money printers. So it's close, but we're not quite there yet.